Good day, everyone. I am Thessa or Carlobos, 19 years old, from Barangay Buenavista, Palawan, Leyte, and I am from BSMT 1 Charlie. So today, I'm going to answer this question in our subject Subject 10, Social Science and Philosophy. So first is a belief or practice that I believe to be uh, philosophically incorrect. So one belief I used to accept and that many people around me still believe is that if you dream of a tooth falling out, they said that someone you know will die. So this belief is very common in our culture, and it's been passed down from generation to generation, and even in my family, people take it seriously, and I grew up hearing this often. And in our culture, dreams sometimes treated like warnings or signs from beyond. And personally, I've experienced this. And every time I had a dream, my grandmother would tell me to bite my pillow right away so that dream wouldn't come true. And I don't know why. So at the time, I followed her advice out of fear. And I thought dreams had power over real life. But now, as I reflect with a deeper understanding of life, um, faith, philosophy, psychology, I realize that this belief is rooted in fear and superstition, not in truth. Because according to psychology, that dreaming about teeth is falling out is often connected to stress, fear of loss, or anxiety. Because these dreams are a reflection of our inner emotion, not prediction of someone dying. And there is no scientific evidence that this dream can predict the future or someone's death. And philosophers like Rene Descartes taught us that we should doubt what cannot be proven by reason, and we should question beliefs that are passed down blindly, especially when they fear or confusion. So holding onto superstitions just because they are part of our tradition can prevent us from learning the truth. But but what really changed my views was the word of God. The Bible teaches us not to be controlled by fear or human tradition. And one verse that fits this perfectly is Colossians chapter 2 verse 8 says that see to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy which depends on human tradition and the elemental spiritual forces of this world rather than on Christ. And this verse reminds us that not not all beliefs passed down to us are right. We must base our faith on Christ, and not on fear-based costumes. And another powerful reminder is Second Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, which says that for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So that verse helped me realize that the kind of fear I used to feel after those dreams did not come from God. Because God gives us peace and wisdom, not panic. And when I felt confused about the meaning of dreams, I found comfort in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 6, which says that trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean on your own understanding in your always acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. So this reminds me that even if I don't fully understand what my dreams mean, I choose to trust God because He is in control of all things, even in life and death. Now, when I have dreams that sound scary or strange, I don't panic anymore. I don't bite my pillow or think something bad will happen. Instead, I pray to God and put my worries in His hands because I've learned that no dream can stop or change God's will. Only He decides the beginning and end of life. Because in the end, I've come to understand that holding onto superstitions only brings fear and confusion. Because true peace doesn't come from rituals or beliefs passed down by tradition. It comes from trusting in God with all my heart. As it says in First John chapter 3:20, if our hearts condemn us, we know that God is greater than our hearts, because and He knows everything. So that verse reminds me that even when I don't fully understand what's happening, I can rest in the truth with God sees all, knows all, and is always in control. So now I choose to live not by fear, but by truth, reason, and unshakable faith in one who knows everything, even the things I cannot. So second is, should death penalty be enacted and legalized in our country? So for me, yes, I believe that the death penalty should enacted and legalized in the Philippines, but only when it is used fairly with strong evidence and for the sake of justice and protection. This is not about hatred or revenge. We are not killing in person. We are removing them from society because of the danger they pose. Because if someone has committed a brutal and intentional murder, they must take full responsibility for their actions. And in the Bible, one of the Ten Commandments says, "Thou shalt not murder," which is Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. So, if someone disrespects that commandment and takes the life of another person without mercy, then they must face consequences. Because in Romans chapter 13, verse 4, it says, "For the one in authority in God's servant for your good. They are God's servant, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer." So this shows that government has the God-given duty to punish those who harm others. Because in philosophy, Immanuel Kant believed in retributive justice, that if a person takes a life, they give up the right to keep their own freedom or life. Justice means the punishment should fit the crime. However, I also believe that we must be extremely careful. No one should be punished unless there is complete, strong, and unquestionable evidence. Because justice must always be fair and true. We cannot afford to make mistakes, especially when someone's life is at stake. So I want I want to encourage everyone. If you don't want to face this kind of punishment, then do not murder. Respect life. Think about your actions. Once life is taken, well, you can never bring it back. So, in conclusion, I support the death penalty not as a form of cruelty, but as a last resort for justice, to protect innocent people and to stop repeated violence. It should be done fairly, wisely, and only to complete truth. This is how we protect peace, uphold moral law, and honor the value of life. So that's why I believe our actions must be guided by both faith and justice. We must reject fear-based beliefs, stand for truth, and live with respect for life and God's law. So, thank you, and may we all continue to grow not just as students, but as a thinkers, believers, and most especially a responsible citizen. Thank you.